Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
It was just at the beginning of this month, at the beginning of June, that attack on London Bridge took place. And there was one particularly heroic man. He was one of the police officers who heroically took on all 3 London Bridge terrorists, armed only with a police baton. He did have a pepper spray can, but he didn't use it because he forgot he had it. In the ensuing struggle, British Transport Police Officer Wayne Marques was stabbed multiple times, including in his eye, just above his eye. This evening, I sat down with him to hear his extraordinary testimony. And I started by asking him how he reacted when he first realized there was something seriously wrong. And a warning, there are some graphic details in his account.
So I'm about to get on my radio, get some units, when I hear this scream. It's a woman screaming. I turn to my right, and running towards me is a lady, early to mid-20s. She wasn't old, and she's running towards me, screaming, until she sort of starts to stumble, and that's when I see the first one. The next clear memory I have is there's this quite well-built, stocky, white guy. He's running towards me, and then he, for unknown apparent reason, he just falls flat forward. And it's when he falls flat that I see looks like the same attacker standing behind him, and that's when I see the knife in his hand. It was in his right hand. I took my baton and I racked it. I took a deep breath, and then charged in.
Racked it means extended?
Yeah, I fully extended my baton out. I charged at him and I swang as hard as I could. I was planning to take his head off in one go, like just put him down straight away. He looks and he sees me coming at the last second, and he managed to get a hand up, or both his hands up. Then while I'm fighting the first one, I get a massive whack to the right side of my head. It felt like a metal bar at first, only afterwards I realized it was a knife. But the second one, it hit me so hard on the side of the head, it knocked the lights out of my right eye. I went blind straight away. I gathered myself and opened this eye just in time to see a knife coming up. And it was more reactions than instincts. I remember blocking it. And then after I blocked it, then I managed to look up and see the second attacker. But the next thing I remember is I've got the second one, which is the shorter one, and the third one. He's bigger than the other 2. He seems like a bit wider, a bit taller. He's in a jacket. And I'm literally, with one eye, my baton in my hand, I'm going fighting left to right between the second one and the third one. And while I'm fighting with them, I look down and I can see there's a knife moving up and down, and then I realised the first one had got back up and got back into the fight. And then at that point, all I remember is I'm swinging all over the place. I don't even know if I'm hitting them or not. I'm just swinging in their general direction. I only had one voice in my head, and that was, don't go down, don't go down.
So you had a very bad injury in your thigh.
My left hip was opened about 5 inches across, about 3.5 to 4 inches deep. My right eyebrow and right side of my forehead was opened up.
And your finger, which finger?
My left finger was sliced into two halves. That side was hanging and that side was hanging open.
Did you think you were going to die?
I remember my colleague, he comes, I think he puts his hand on my arm, on my shoulder, and he says, "You're going to be all right, Wayne, you're going to be all right." And I'm listening to them and I'm following their instructions, like, keep your eyes open, keep talking. I'm doing everything they say for at least a good 3-4 minutes. But at the end of that 4th minute, what feels like a medallion or a big coin in the middle of your chest. And every time you breathe out, it gets heavier. And you breathe in, and you breathe out, it gets heavier and bigger again. And like what other people have described, it's that black cloud starts to close in on your vision, and I can see it closing in, and I know my time's up.
Do you realise now that in suffering what you suffered, you unquestionably saved an enormous number of lives on the bridge?
I wasn't trying to, if I'll be honest with you, I wasn't trying to fight terrorists. I wasn't trying to, you know, take people on. All I was trying to do was keep people alive.
Do you want to stay in the force?
Being a police officer is what I'm good at. I am good at what I do, I know that.
That seems to be evident.
However, there are members of the family and the girlfriend that think, no, that's enough, you've done your time, that's more than enough. I will, however, have to answer that question at a later stage. I can't be a police officer without my left hand and without my left leg.
And when you look back at the incident, in the very, very clear description that you have of it, do you think, I shouldn't have done that, I should have done a runner?
I had one aim, and that was not to fight, my one aim was just to keep people alive, and that's what I was trying to do, just keep people alive.
Wayne Marques, it's an honour to speak with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lovely man, and very, very courageous. And he has months of physiotherapy ahead of him, but they say he's going to make a full recovery.
I've been getting away with it